Have you ever been teaching a lesson mid-sentence, mid-slide, or mid-problem, and you look at your class and realize, they're sitting there, they're quiet, they're compliant, but they're completely checked out? I've been there. You get the feeling that nobody's home, and don't feel like you're a bad teacher. You're not. What you're watching is the brain hit its limit. Neuroscience tells us something that we've all experienced, even if we didn't have the language for it. Attention has a biological time limit. The adolescent brain can sustain focused attention for about 10 to 20 minutes before it needs a reset. When we ignore that limit, learning drops, stress spikes. But when we honor it with short, intentional brain breaks, focus, memory, and engagement all improved. So today I'm breaking down the research behind brain breaks and why you need to use them and how it actually works with either a 50 or 90-minute block. And think about it, our secondary students are expected to listen, read, write, solve problems for long stretches of time, often across back-to-back classes, all while navigating that adolescent experience. Did someone say 6, 7? But here's the thing. The adolescent brain is still under construction. And when students hit cognitive overload, focus drops, stress rises, retention decreases, and behavior problems, you got it. And we blame engagement. What's really happening is brain fatigue. So what are brain breaks? They're not just something you do in elementary. They're actually a human performance strategy. They're used in corporate learning, executive training, high-performing workplaces. So what we're doing in our secondary classes is align with how the brain works. It's not about lowering expectations. It's about matching instruction with how the brain functions. And if you don't know me, I'm Dr. D, and this is my channel, Teach with Dr. D, where I talk about real strategies for real classrooms, coupled with research-based practices that actually work. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because here on this channel, we're all about teaching smarter. So let's jump in and talk about brain breaks. Brain breaks are short, intentional pauses in instruction. It can be anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, and it's going to give your students' brains a chance to reset so that learning can keep going. Brain breaks can look different, right? It could be movement, something creative, something calm, play, or just an opportunity to reflect. The point is that the brain is getting a reset. And let me be clear about this. Brain breaks are not wasted time, and it's not fluff or something that you just do with elementary students. Brain breaks are a research-backed learning strategy that help with focus, memory, and engagement, especially for our middle school and high school students. When we pause instruction, even for a minute or two, the brain doesn't shut off. It switches gears. Neuroscientists Mary Helen Immordino-Yang found that during short moments of rest, the brain uses that time to sort, organize, and store what is just learned. I like to think of it this way. Hand your students a stack of papers and never give them any time to put it away. What's going to happen? That pile is just going to get so messy. And that brain break, if that gets tied in, it's going to give your brain an opportunity to store things and put it in the right place. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, you may have heard of him, he also explains that attention works in cycles. It's more like a phone battery than a light switch. If we keep going without a recharge, focus drops, mistakes increase, and frustration show up. A short break is like plugging the phone in for some extra charge, right? Not a full charge, but enough to keep going. So in your classroom, it could be something like you're explaining a concept, students seem okay, you keep going, but then 10 minutes later, your eyes are glazed over, hands disappear, and behavior starts to creep in. It's not defiance, it's a drained brain. When you pause for a quick reset and come back, students are more alert, they're more focused, and you're better able to use what you've just taught them. So the simple takeaway is this. Brain breaks don't steal learning time, they help learning actually stick. All right, let's get practical. I want to share 5 brain breaks you can use immediately. No prep, no baby stuff, and fully secondary friendly. Before we get started, I've also shared a free brain break in the comments below this video. So here are 5 that you can use right away. Number 1, if you're a math teacher like me, you're going to love Nerdle. It's absolute gold. It's like Wordle, but for math. Students guess a correct equation using logic and number sense. They're practicing order of operations, strategic reasoning, and pattern recognition. And it feels like a game. Number 2, academic charades. And this is going to work in any content area because students are just acting out vocabulary, literary terms, science concepts, or historical ideas. No talking, just thinking and movement. And it's super powerful, especially for our English language learners. Number 3, target number. Again, math teachers, put your target number on the board, like 24, and then give students 4 numbers and basic operations. The challenge is to use all 4 numbers once to reach the target. I even like to do this on the whiteboard. It's super quick, focused, and perfect for a 2-minute reset. Okay, number 4 is quick think. This is one quick and easy way to connect your content and still give your students a break. So basically what you're going to do is you give your students a prompt. So for example, science, you might say write or sketch one thing that would happen if gravity suddenly disappeared. If your history, what changes might happen if this event never happened? And there's no pressure, there's no grading. The goal is not perfection. It's just waking the brain back up and getting students to think again. You can even use ChatGPT to help you generate some brain break activities for this writing prompt. Number 5, stand, stretch, and reset. This is purposeful movement and not chaos. So in a language class, you might do a quick Simon Says. Simón dice toca la cabeza. Simón dice levanta la mano. Students are moving, listening, and processing language at the same time. In math or science, it could be a quick relay. Put a problem or question on the board, students stand up, complete one step, then tag the next person. Maybe they're sitting at tables. You can also do a simple walk and talk, like a carousel activity using sticky notes. I do this all the time. And again, the movement gets students back, but also gives them a break. And in the end, it's going to mean fewer classroom disruptions every single time. Again, we're thinking about easy ways for students to connect and reset. And before we move on to how to put this all together, don't forget there's a freebie in this video. It's a would you rather brain break, and it totally works well with our secondary kiddos. Here's why. Would you rather forces students to make a decision, justify their thinking, and move their bodies all without high cognitive load? So you might ask students something like, would you rather solve a problem with no calculator or explain your thinking in words? And students move to one side of the room, turn and talk, or do a quick write. In science, you could ask, would you rather explore space or the deepest part of the ocean? History teachers, you can ask your students something like, would you rather live during the Industrial Revolution or the digital age? There's no right answer. The goal is just to reset, get students' attention, move and talk, and then bring them back to learning. And you could just run this as a quick 2 to 3 minute brain break, transition between activities, or reset during long block periods. Don't forget, it's linked below, modify as you need, and get started using this tomorrow. Now let's talk about where these fit into your class period, because brain breaks aren't random, they're strategic. If you teach a 50-minute class, one well-placed brain break is enough. Here's the flow. First, 15 minutes instruction or discussion, then a 2-minute brain break. It could be anything that we talked about or maybe another brain break that you found. After that, you're going to have some practice or collaboration on your topic and unit, and then end with a reflection or an exit ticket. You're not stopping learning, you're protecting it. Your 90-minute block, you definitely need to build in some brain breaks. They're essential. Here's a brain break aligned structure. Start with instruction or discussion, then a short movement or game-based break, move into application or group work. Follow that with the calming or creative reset. Then deeper learning or an assessment. You can always add an optional reset if needed. Close with a reflection. And this mirrors how attention and memory actually work. Invite your students in to choose their brain breaks, make them part of the routine and not just a reward. When brain breaks are predictable, transitions get faster and they go much smoother. So remember, sometimes it doesn't start off perfectly the first time. Practice, rehearsal, and then you'll build that into your flow. And remember, brain breaks aren't about losing instructional time. They're about honoring how brains actually learn. When we pause the lesson for the brain, students can come back more focused, regulated, and ready to learn. And that's good teaching. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. leave me a comment. Let me know your favorite brain break, what works with your students. And if this helped you, like, subscribe. Check out that free resource that I've linked below. And if you want more classroom-ready tools, think about joining our membership here on this page. Everything in there is built for real secondary classrooms. Thanks for being here, and remember, a regulated brain learns best. See you next time.